On today's episode, we talked about the new movie Horizon Line. He's Jay, I'm Alan, that's Ben.
Three bros, three beans. Bad movies.
This is Move Jack. Let's go.
I was a little excited for this because it has Alexander Dreymon in it. Dreymon? I don't know how you say his last name.
Don't know who that is.
Well, he's from the show The Last Kingdom, which I liked, good show, you should watch it. But
seen previews for it, never watched the show.
this movie was...
So, I actually really enjoyed, like, the first 30 minutes.
Really?
Yeah, I would
yeah.
Like the little backstory?
Yeah. But once they got onto the plane and things started going south,
So,
it turned into Mission Impossible 9.
So once the movie actually got into its
whole point
plot, you're like, I'm out.
So
yeah.
This movie, when it starts out, you really have no idea what it's going to be about. Like
Zippy
the
idea.
intro, you don't really know what it's about. It's just the character development, which they did a really good job with.
About some girl named Sarah who you kind of hate.
Yeah, you kind of hate her.
A little bit, right?
Yeah, you kind of hate her a little bit.
Yeah.
So the two main characters, they're in love. This guy lives.
Are they?
Well, he lives in this like fantasy island place where he's just a scuba instructor. He's just the stereotypical like, hey, I'm just riding the waves of life and whatever. And she's there for a vacation or for like a year or whatever.
It's like a year long like work something transplant or something from London.
And they fell in love. They're all together, but it's time for her to go back to London.
Yeah.
And he's all depressed. And so it is.
Well, first of all, he thinks he's having a good time. He's out with her at the bar and stuff, hanging out. He's like, let's get 2 more beers.
And then she ghosts him.
Dips on him
you knew
when he goes to the bar.
You knew she was going to leave.
Didn't like it.
I know, because prior to that, she said, I don't do goodbyes. So I'm like, she's leaving once he gets to the
Don't like it. Wasn't a fan of her.
So her friend's getting married. She goes back to London, and then her friend's getting married.
She's
she
there
has
for
to
a
go
year.
back.
It's a year later she goes back.
Yeah, she has to go back because her friend's getting married, and of course she runs into him again.
Shocker.
Well, I mean, he lives there.
And then they're trying to get to the wedding. They have to take the same flight, which is like some charter plane.
Yeah.
You know, run of the mill like Cessna.
Like some guy named Freddie on the island.
Little small plane. So they have to hitch a ride with him to the wedding, and then it all goes wrong.
So he has a heart attack like during the flight, and then that's when it all goes wrong. Now,
But that's when
down.
Well, that's when it turns into, like you said, Tom Cruise.
He croaked on the yoke, bro.
He croaked on the yoke.
Yeah.
But it turns into Mission Impossible like 99. Like everything that you could think of goes wrong.
But it got too crazy.
The problem that I had, like you said, it was so like, I get it. Pilot has a heart attack, pilot dies, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
But the stuff they did, I'm like, it's not realistic.
It's gonna be okay.
Hold on! Mayday! Mayday!
Sarah!
Well, they're in the plane, and then he has a heart attack, and everything starts to go wrong. They're up in the air. Giant storm comes. It's a little rinky-dink plane. Can't go above 20,000 feet because it's not a pressurized cabin. You get
altitude sickness.
I'm gonna stop you right there. That was one of the things that I hated. So she does go to 20,000 feet, right?
Yeah.
And then she does get altitude sickness, which is a mountain sickness as well. But it hits her like this. It's instant.
Yeah, everything in this movie happens that way.
It takes 6 to 24 hours to actually.
And then she pulls a Freddy down on the yoke.
Yeah, then she goes down.
They're nose diving through lightning storms.
Yeah, and the guy's
problem.
like, Sarah, like he's not affected. She's like,
So the problem with this movie is everything that could go wrong went wrong, but it's at the pace that it did. It's like there's no break. Like, and they didn't explain it. It's just that's wrong, compass broken, this broken, that thing doesn't work. The altimeter, whatever, doesn't work. The radio out. I'm like, okay, I get it. But how did it happen like that? What happened? And then all of a sudden, like, they're flying around, and he's like, oh, no, the compass is broken. When did that happen? How did that happen?
It wasn't broken. It was acting fine. Nothing happened.
And then it's broken.
I'm like, all right. And then he's like, I know a trick I used to see on Man vs. Wild. Bear Grylls taught me.
I know.
And he like magnetized the...
Hey, Boy Scouts, we did this.
The needle and this and that. I'm like...
Drop in a thing of rum.
And I'm like, all right. I'm like, okay, so how do you know that's... How do you know that worked? Like, you need to fact check. You're like...
All that stuff. When he Mission Impossible and tied a rope around himself and climbed out the plane and like ripped off the hood of the engine and it's like squirting stuff and he's like, this piece of tape will work.
It's fuel. And
well,
the piece of tape. Ben, the piece.
Have you ever watched an episode of MacGyver? Of course that works.
Yeah. The piece of tape is this big. Have you ever tried to duct tape something that's
wet,
that's actively leaking fluids?
Yeah, you need that. What's
it.
that TV commercial for the?
Oh yeah.
Gorilla tape.
No, it's that like
Flex Seal.
Flex Seal.
Yeah. I thought he was gonna take like a piece of gum and be like, and it would just be good to go.
I would have believed that more.
Did you notice though when the guy that like he's like outside the plane, like his hair's not going crazy and stuff. He's just like normal.
Yeah, right. And
like hair's like down. I'm like, dude, at least to put like a wind machine on the guy so you can show his hair going all over the place and windy and stuff.
To go along with that, I got a problem when spoiler alert, when she goes outside the plane.
Right. That's what I was gonna say.
Oh, yeah.
They each have to have a turn.
Yeah,
I know, it's like you do that once. I'm like, not believable. But then it's like,
and she does it, and then
we gotta go again. I'm like,
well, she one ups him. She gets on top.
Yeah.
So when they're running out of fuel because after he patched the leak, all of a sudden they're like, oh my god, we have no fuel. I'm like, oh well, you knew that. So now they're like, let's put this rum in there because it has ethanol. I'm like, it's probably not the same thing as jet fuel. But so they go there and then she puts the rum in. So when she's putting the rum in, she's facing the way the plane's facing, right? She's putting the rum in and one bottle slips and it goes forward.
It fell forward. It fell forward.
Right. And I'm like, hey,
it should have gone, whoo.
Yeah, I'm like, hey, people doing the movie, if I'm on an airplane and I'm going this way and I let go of something, it's gonna go that way. I saw it, I was like, that's stupid.
Yeah, I'm not
they're below the equator. Now toilet spin backwards.
Oh, it's Australia.
Wind too.
But so
other way.
It's those little details it's those little details that I was like, I don't like that.
Gotta be smart.
Like that.
I do want to say this. All of that aside, all the fact that the physics played no role in this movie,
all that aside,
I will say that the special effects for like the flight scenes, because it wasn't real. Like, they're not doing that.
Yeah.
I will say, aside from the wind stuff and the hair, it didn't look terrible.
No. What about when they were dropping stuff out of the plane? And the guy on the boat is sitting there and like stuff is literally just like appearing right there in the water. It's like, that was some of the worst special effects I've ever seen.
That's fine. But when they're up in the air, I have a point that I'm getting to. When they're up in the air and they show you outside the plane and him with the wind blowing and her with the wind blowing, or even when the plane is like stalling and going down, there's one movie that this movie utterly destroys. That the special effects in this movie just destroy it. Wonder Woman 1984.
Yeah, I was
the scenes in this are 1,000 times better than Wonder Woman.
But you are right about that, and I'm guessing their budget was a lot less.
Oh yeah, like they probably had like $50 and like some a case of they Jamaican rum to make this movie.
like an RC airplane.
First of all, how long did that plane glide?
Forever.
I was like, well, you don't need fuel because this thing just glides forever.
They talked for
it was basically like
5 minutes, and
like a paper airplane. It just
I'm like
cruise.
And then here's the other thing. Here's the other thing. When they went through all that effort of her risking her life to pour more fuel in, then when they got back in the plane, they're like, oh yeah, look, it's working. And then the scene cuts, and then all the fuel's gone.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait, what?
Do you know what I didn't like too? So, Freddie, obviously, the pilot, dies early on in the movie. Right? So, he dies before the turbulence starts. He's in the back just laying there. All the turbulence hits, the plane's doing like rolls.
Around and
they look back there, he's just like, is he glued to the floor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did they duct tape him to the floor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they tossed him on board. I'm like, what are you doing?
Oh, they did Freddy so dirty.
Yeah, I'm like, you can't.
They rolled him out of that plane like a sack of rocks.
He weighs 200 pounds tops. That's not gonna make a difference. You can't do that.
But
potatoes.
But here, real quick, we're trashing this movie, but it really wasn't. It really wasn't as bad. It really wasn't as bad as some other movies we've seen. The shark?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I wanted it so bad.
I was like, Mission Impossible meets Jaws. Can't wait.
When they showed that one clip of the fin, I was like,
Jackson's Dunsky.
But I was telling JJ, what was the point of that? We know you're in the ocean. We know there's sharks there. We know he's bleeding. We know they're probably around. If you're going to show the shark,
use it.
Use it or have another scene.
It was just a little added suspense.
It was a teaser.
Little added suspense.
They did that to tease you about the ending when she's trying to get back in the boat. You're just like,
it was POV of the shark.
I would say it was almost like they had an alternate ending where the shark ate one of them and they didn't like it.
And then whatever producer came on and was like, they're already on top of the plane. They're already outside of the plane. Yeah. They already did all this other stuff.
Right.
We got to cut the shark. Got to cut the shark.
Oh, because that would have been unrealistic at everything. The shark attack would have been the unrealistic thing.
Draw the line at the shark.
One more gripe of this movie. So the plane crashes and the doors open, but it's leaking water very slowly, which I'm like, okay. Whatever. Maybe the door closed when it crashed. No, maybe it did.
Oh, water coming in, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, water's coming in slowly, yeah.
Very slowly, but the door's like wide open, right? But my gripe is, so she sees Jackson passed out.
Oh, and she's up hanging around.
So she sees him.
She's just chilling.
No, why you hate her?
No,
that's why you gotta hate her.
She knows he's passed out because she literally, when she exits the airplane, she moves his body aside and then exits.
Oh, she propels off of him to save herself.
Then she gets to service. She's like, Jackson. I'm like, hey.
Where are you? Wait, I'll tell you where he is. He's 30 feet below.
He's in the plane.
He's drowning. That's where he is.
I'm like, what?
I hate her.
Take that.
Blood is boiling.
She did.
He is drowning.
She manipulated him from the beginning of this movie to the end.
I know. I hate her. I hate her so much.
He's underwater for 5 minutes.
Poor guy's just in love.
Yeah, and then literally, she does like one little CPR, one little breath. And he's like,
oh yeah, the CPR in this movie was terrible. All right, we've gone too far. We're going to rate it. I will say we just trashed the crap out of this movie, but it still wasn't as bad as some other movies we've seen. So I'll start.
It's not, yeah.
It's a flat 5.
Okay, I like that.
A flat 5. It's watchable. I wouldn't watch it again, but I don't hate myself for watching it.
Yeah.
I'm going to echo exactly what Ben said. It's
flat 5.
Exactly. It's a flat 5.
Wow.
I'll never watch it again. I really enjoyed it until it got like just uber ridiculous with
the Tom Cruise action stuff going on.
At the end of the day, it is what it is. I gave it a
flat 5.
He has like a compound fracture. She's like, give me a Hank. I'm gonna go 5 as well. Actually, I laughed. I enjoyed it. I'm not gonna watch again. For
a low budget movie that is just random out of nowhere.
Even though we just trashed it.
Yeah, we just trashed it, but it's still watchable. And if you got an afternoon to do something, watch it. It won't kill you, but it's just not the best movie in the world.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, and subscribe so you can watch us trash some other movies.
Yeah,
because we really do trash movies.
Subscribe and
movie trashers.
We're out.